In episode 6, Bo-Katan has not only found Mandalorians, she's found one that she knows. It's her former crew, the one that she built. They're currently residing on a planet called Plazier 15. It's a planet in the Outer Rim that's an independent sovereign. Bo figures that the Mandalorians aren't just living there, they're probably hired guns, hired to protect the independent planet. This isn't going to be easy, though. It's not like Bo can just roll up there and say, "Hey guys, let's go back to Mandalore." The crew is currently being run by someone named Axe Wolves, and he's not a big fan of Bo. But shortly after arriving on Plazier 15, they get word that the leadership of the planetary democracy wants to speak with them, and it's not really a request, it's mandatory. Since neither of them have been to Plazier 15 before, they just kind of have to go along with it. When they arrive at the leadership group, they're surprised because the leadership looks just like Jack Black and Lizzo, a true power couple. The leadership doesn't even introduce himself. He just starts spewing his life story, telling Bo and Din that he was once a planning officer during the war for the Imperial Army. But thanks to the New Republic amnesty program, he was able to help rebuild Plazier 15. Unfortunately, now they have a little bit of an issue. The planet's Imperial droids were reprogrammed for peace, but lately, some of them have been malfunctioning. It's slowly progressed to assault level. The leadership needs the help of Din and Bo because their charter disallows any standing army to enter the city. The constables aren't even allowed to carry blasters. So they can't invite the Mandalorians that are on the outside in to do that because they're hired guns. But Bo and Din, they're different. They're just two people. Mandalorians whose weaponry and armor are instinctive to their culture. So as long as Bo and Din take care of the droid problem, they're free to go talk to Axe and his Mandalorians. It's a loophole in the system, but it's one that could benefit both sides. Bo, however, doesn't want to be a hired gun, and they tell them, well, this isn't for charity. This will be viewed as an act of diplomacy between our two planets. In fact, Plazier 15 would formally recognize Mandalore as a sovereign system, and petition the New Republic to recognize it as such. Since Bo and Din don't really have a choice in the matter, they decide to go investigate the issue. The first person they go talk to is the head of security, a guy named Commissioner Hellgate. He starts telling them the backstory, saying that they were recommissioned droids and they were a success. Until recently, a few of them have been acting up, and they're not quite sure why. There is a failsafe cutoff switch built into the system that would immobilize all the droids, but the citizens voted against any interruption in droid service. They've not only grown accustomed to having the droids, they've grown dependent on them. They'd rather risk running into a rogue droid than risk doing things on their own, like working. He sends them to go talk to the people that fix the droids up. They're called Ugnots. And when they arrive at the Ugnots workshop, the Ugnots don't even want to talk to him. Until Din drops the name of an Ugnot that he knows. That gets them a seat at the table. The Ugnots don't take any blame for the rogue droids, but they are aware of the problem, and they give Din and Bo a list of where they can find these rogue droids and where they think the next one is going to pop up. The next event is going to take place at the loading docks, so that's where they head. And as Bo is talking to the head droid, Din is trying to provoke the other ones. They're programmed not to hurt people, so Din just pushing them shouldn't really do anything. Until one decides to push back, and they found their rogue droid. They chase him all throughout the city, but eventually they immobilize him. And Bo finds something very interesting on him. It's a spark pad for a place called the Resistor, a droid bar. And it's got an address, so they head there. And it's like that scene in Animal House when the group walks into the bar and the music stops. That's what happens to Din and Bo. All the droids are kind of just staring at them. But they're not worried about it. They walk up to the bartender and they explain why they're there. And the bartender is pretty cagey with them at first, but later admits that he wants to help the issue. Because most of the droids on that planet would be just sent to the scrap heap if they got rid of droids altogether and brought humans in to do the work. So just like humans, these droids don't appreciate the rogue robots. It's giving the good ones a bad name. They want Bo and Din to help out and find them. The problem is they've given that spark pad out quite a bit. It's hard to really know which droid it was that took that particular spark pad. Bo asks, well, what about a record of what people ordered? But the droid says it's not how it works here. There's no selection of beverages. It's just one liquid. It's called Nepenthe. It's a viscous lubricant that protects against mechanical wear while delivering program-refreshing subparticles. Din points out that it's the Nepenthe that reprograms the droids, and the droid confirms as much. The droid does a quick scan and realizes that all the malfunctioning droids have drank from the same batch of Nepenthe. Bo and Din then go to head to the coroner's office to see if the droid that they just killed had drank the same Nepenthe, but as they're trying to check, they get attacked by another rogue droid. This one gets done in by Din's dark saber. Now with that out of the way, they're able to sit down with the coroner and really dive into the DNA of what was going on with this droid. And not only do they learn that this droid had drank the Nepenthe, but they learn what was in the Nepenthe. It's nanodroids. And when they dive deeper into it, they see a chain code that tracks back to Commissioner Hellgate. Bo and Din then go to approach him and arrest him, and he threatens to hit the failsafe button while waxing poetic about how he'll never give up, he's never given up, how Count Dooku was a visionary, and finally Bo gets sick of it and she immobilizes him with a stun bullet. They then bring Hellgate to the Leadership Council and say, "We found your problem. This is the guy who's been causing your droids to malfunction." They send him away to live in exile on a moon. The Duchess then grants Bo and Din an audience with the Mandalorian privateers. But they also give them the key to the city, and that's cool. And Grogu isn't going away empty-handed. He spent the entire day with the Duchess and the Commander, and he's getting knighted. Din, Bo, and Grogu then go head off to meet with the other Mandalorians, and Bo isn't quite sure what she's going to say. When she gets there, Axe doesn't want to talk to her. He's in charge now, and he kind of likes it that way. So Bo challenges him to a duel. He quickly accepts, the two duke it out, but Bo is too good of a fighter. She mounts Axe and basically makes him yield, or else she was going to kill him. And she didn't want to kill him. He tells her, "You'll never be the true leader of our people. You won't even take the dark saber from him. He's the one that you should be challenging." But Bo tells him, "Enough Mandalorian blood has been spilled by our own hands." She announces to the entire group that Mandalorians are stronger together. And Axe points out that Din is the one who possesses the dark saber, and also the fact that he doesn't have an ounce of Mandalorian blood in his veins. So why would they follow him? Bo quickly comes to the defense of Din Djarin, pointing out that he took the creed, he chose to walk the way, he still walks the way, he's as much Mandalorian as anybody else there. But Din knows that these people are never going to follow Bo as long as he is holding the dark saber. So he decides to give it to her. But he points out to everybody, "I'm not just giving this to her, she earned it. While exploring Mandalore, I was captured and Bo-Katan rescued me. She slayed my captor. Bo-Katan defeated the one who defeated me. So she has earned the dark saber." And that's something that even Axe has to agree with. Din then hands over the blade and says, "I'm going to return this to its rightful owner."
Thank you
And the
so
dark
much for checking out this
saber
recap.
now
Please consider
belongs
subscribing to
to
the channel
Bo-Katan.
and subscribing to my Patreon. Hit thumbs up if you liked it. Smash that thumbs down button if you thought it sucked. If you left a comment, I don't get back to you. I usually don't check the comments unless they're like a super comment. Also, if you don't see the next video up on the end screen, not to worry, it'll be up in a day or two.